Hi everyone. Today I will give a demo of Azure Data Factory where I will copy data from blob storage to on-prem version of SQL Server. For this demo, you will also need to understand a few concepts like blob storage, integration runtime, pipeline, linked service, which I will cover in this video. I will also give an example of a trigger which you can create in Azure Data Factory. Azure Data Factory is actually a cloud-based data integration service provided by Microsoft. It's kind of like the ETL where you can automate movement and transformation of data. Like an ETL, you have a data source and data destination, and in between that you have different layers where you ingest the data and you prepare the data how you would want it to look like and transform it and publish it to the data destination so that it can be consumed by various applications or reporting solutions. Azure Blob Storage is Microsoft's storage solution in the cloud. Blob storage is heavily optimized to store large amount of unstructured data. In Azure, every manageable item is a resource, example virtual machine, database. And in blob storage, you have three types of resources: storage account, container, and blob. Storage account is like a service account which provides a unique namespace for your data in Azure. Container is actually like a directory in a file system. It is used for organizing blobs. Blob is nothing but a single entity, example image, audio, files, or other multimedia objects. Let's create a storage account. Log into Azure portal. I'm on the home page. So click on create a resource. You will come to this page. Type storage account. Then you'll come to this page. Click on create and you come to this page. Now, here are a few details where you have to enter. Subscription is your subscription, which will be populated by default. Resource group. So all the resources in your ADF should actually belong to one resource group. Let's go ahead and create a new resource group. Click on create new, which will create a new resource group for you. Make sure that you use the location as your location. For example, if you're living in UK South, then choose UK South. Then go ahead and fill in the storage account name, and then this location again has to be the same location. So one key thing to keep in mind is everything within your ADF should belong to the same location, or you would have access issues. Performance standard, and then these are all pre-populated. Here you would see access tier, which is cool and hot. You also have another access tier which is called as archive. So cool is used for infrequently accessed blob storage, whereas hot is used for frequently accessed storage, and archive, as the name suggests, is used for archival process. Now go ahead and click on review plus create. Review all the details of your storage account, and if it's all right, then go and click on create. So you would see that deployment is underway, and once it's done, you would have your account created, which is here. So let's go ahead and populate some data within this account. So click on this storage account. So here you would see there are a few items: containers, file shares, tables, and queues. We are going to create a container. Container is like a directory where you can hold files. So click on container. You'll come to the screen. So click on plus to create a new container. Come to the screen where you would have to populate a few details. So give a name for your container. You will see that there are different access levels. Let's select private, which says no anonymous access, and then click on create. You will see that the container has been created. Let's go inside the container, double click on the container. You will see that there is nothing inside the container. So let's go ahead and upload a file. But before that, I'll show you an example where I've created an Excel file with 4 columns. The first row has the header, title, first name, last name, profession. It's a very simple file with 3 rows. So you click on upload and select your file path from your computer, and then you can choose this option if you want, if it's already there. I don't have any files, so I'm not going to click on this, and then you can click on upload. So now you will see that the file has been created. Now let's create a Azure Data Factory. Click on create a resource. In the search bar here, type Data Factory, and then you will come to this screen. Click on create. You will get this screen where you have to fill details. Give a name for your data factory. I've called it demo ADF blob to SQL. Version by default, it actually picks the latest version. As you can see, it's v2. Subscription is pre-populated. Resource group will be the same resource group you created while creating the blob storage. Location again pointed to UK South. You can enable Git if you want. I've disabled Git at the moment, and then click on create. As you can see, it says your deployment is complete. Now click on Goto Resource. You can see that the data factory is created with version v2. Once you go within your data factory, you will get this screen. You can see a few details here. Activity log. You can also set alerts for your data factory. It's kind of like your ETL alerts, which you set when you want to be notified if there's a failure. And here you will see for monitoring, you have pipeline runs and activity runs. Once you run your data factory, all this gets populated. So let's go and create the flow within the data factory. So click on author and monitor. Comes to this screen. So we're going to create a pipeline. So click on create pipeline. Here you can see it's already created a pipeline for you. We are interested in moving and transforming the data. So expand, move and transform, and then drag and drop the copy data flow here. So you can see the name of the flow is already populated. So let's go ahead and create the source. So the source is nothing but your blob storage. So you can actually go search for Azure Blob Storage, and then this gets prompted. So you just click on Azure Blob Storage, and then our data source is in Excel. So click on Excel. Give a name for your source, demo Excel, and linked service. Linked service is actually for linking your data store. So in this case, we will have to create 2 linked service. One is for your source and one is for your destination. So I'll show you the linked service for the blob storage right now. So give a name for your linked service. I've called it demo LS. Connection via integration runtime, set it to auto because the blob storage is in Azure itself. So just set it to auto. Authentication method is your account key, and selection method is from Azure subscription. Storage account name will be the account name which you created. In my case, it's demo account. And then you can actually test the connection. You can see it says connection is successful. Go ahead and click on create. So you will see that the link service is now populated. Now let's go ahead and choose the file path. Click on browse. So you will see your demo container which you've created, and then you can actually select the file within that container. Sheet name is sheet 1 in my case. First row is the header, so I've clicked it. Import schema is from your connection store because I have header populated in my Excel. Click on OK. So the source is populated. You can actually preview the data just to make sure it's all looking good. Go ahead and click the preview data. You will see that it's recognized the headers and the data within the data source, which is good. Now let's go to the sync tab where we will sync the data to the destination. So click on sync dataset. In the search bar, type SQL Server and click on SQL Server. Let's give a name for the SQL Server linked service. I've called it Demo SQL Server. We need to create an integration runtime. As I said before, integration runtime is actually a compute infrastructure which is used by the Azure Data Factory for providing data integration capabilities across different platforms. Remember that for Azure Blob Storage, we did create an integration runtime, but it was set to auto resolve. Whereas in this case, we're not going to choose auto resolve because the SQL Server is on the on-prem. So you need to create a new integration runtime. Click on new. You will see a lot of options. Select self-hosted because we're using the on-prem version of SQL Server. Give it a name. I've called it integration runtime demo ADF. Now you need to actually install this integration runtime on your computer. My SQL Server is actually on my local computer, so I'm gonna install it on my computer. Whereas if your SQL Server is on a test server or a live server, you need to actually install this on the test server or live server accordingly. So click on launch the express setup for this computer, and then you will see that the exe gets installed, and if you go and check your programs, you will see this in your add or remove programs. So now that I have the integration runtime set up, I have filled in my SQL Server name, the database name, the type of authentication, your username, password, and then click on test connection. My connection is successful, and then I will click on create. So now this link service is created. You can actually see your table names in the drop down. I've selected dbo.sample. Import schema is from my connection store. Click on OK. So that is done now. You need to actually do the mapping between the source and the destination. That's in this mapping tab. If you just click on import schemas, you will see that it's automatically done the mapping for you. It actually shows the type of source data and then it links it to the appropriate column names in the destination. After I select from my sample table and there's nothing in it, I'm now going to run the ADF. Just click on debug, and then it's completed in 6 seconds, as you can see. So I'm just going to do a select again, and you will see that 3 records have been inserted, which is what was in the Excel file we created. There are different types of triggers which you can create on the Azure Data Factory. One is tumbling window trigger, where you set a trigger which fires at periodic time intervals. And in case of tumbling window trigger, there's only one-to-one relationship with your pipeline. Schedule trigger is a trigger which is set based on your wall clock schedule, and you can have many-to-many relationship with your pipeline. Event-based trigger is quite interesting, where you can create a trigger or set a trigger based on an event. So for example, you can actually trigger your ADF if a new file has arrived, or you can set a trigger if a file is deleted. If you click on the trigger in the ADF, this window will pop up where you can actually create a trigger. So you have different types of trigger. If you click on the event, you have the account selection method, which is your subscription. Then you can give the container name where you've created your blob, and then you can give these basic information saying blob should begin with this and end with this, and then you can set a trigger based on blob creation or blob deletion. I hope you found this video useful. If you have any questions, please leave a comment and I will try to get back to you. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.